Welcome back to another episode of Organizing Tune-Ups with your host, Jessica Littman, the Organized Mama, where we break down big organizing concepts into small, bite-sized chunks you can do every day for 5 to 15 minutes. This episode is all about micro-decluttering. Now, what is micro-decluttering? Well, micro-decluttering is using small amounts of time in order to remove things from your home, your living space, your workspace, whatever it may be. Micro-decluttering really is a way to streamline the declutter process without worrying about doing a giant declutter. Meaning you take everything out of the pantry and then go through it and spend basically your entire day removing unwanted stuff, cleaning, reorganizing, relabeling, all of the things. Instead, this technique is really going to benefit the people that struggle with those giant decluttering projects. So if that is you and you are like, whoa, I never am able to declutter or organize in like an entire day, my time, I just don't have the time. I don't have the mental capacity to do it. I am overwhelmed the second I pull everything out. Too much visual clutter, all of those things. Micro decluttering is a strategy I recommend you try. So to do a micro declutter, you really have to go in with kind of like a game plan because you are only decluttering and organizing for 15 minutes max. Anything over that, you might find yourself like, okay, this is too much. So by going in with a plan, you are going to be very strategic about how you are going to tackle a space or a countertop or a drawer. That is the point of micro decluttering, just small decluttering steps every day. Just like what I recommend in this podcast, doing small organizing things every day, this is another strategy that you can use to do that. So to do a micro declutter, you start by creating a plan. Okay, I am going to clear off our kitchen counters. That is where I am going to start. And so you have your plan, right? That's as simple as your plan needs to be. It does not need to be like an over-the-top plan. It just needs to be something simple like I'm going to declutter the kitchen counters. Then you're going to set your timer for 15 minutes and you're just going to get to work. You're going to be like, I'm going to keep this, throw away, put in a different location. Sift through all the stuff. Once the timer goes off, put the stuff away and you're done. That's your micro declutter for the day. Then the next day, maybe you go to another counter that is full of papers and stuff. Maybe it's in your office. Maybe it's in like the art room or playroom or storage room or laundry room or whatever. You get the idea of like room options, whatever you may call them, and go through a counter in that space and just remove the things that no longer serve you for 15 minutes, put them where they need to be, recycling, trash, different location, and then the next day, continue that same process. The reason why this technique can really benefit is because it's small, actionable steps that you can see the traction is going. You're kind of like starting by like rolling a ball down a hill, and as it goes, it just kind of gets bigger and bigger and bigger because the small step you took is going to continue and spiral into such big action in your home. Small steps, big wins. That's the goal with micro decluttering. I found that micro decluttering really has helped back when I was doing in-home organizing. I didn't realize that was like the name at the time, but back when I was doing in-home organizing, I would go to clients' houses for a tidy session and we would set it up where 1 hour a week I would go and basically like tidy a small space in their house, remove things, label, do all of that stuff. And every week it would change the location of where we would kind of like tidy and keep an area clean. And what I noticed was I had clients that we would do big, massive organizing jobs, and then they weren't able to keep up with that small tidy session, or they weren't able to keep up with the big organizing that we did. But when we changed to going in weekly and doing small changes, they were able to keep up with that system. which is why micro-decluttering really works, especially if there are a lot of people in the home, if there's a lot of movement going on. Small changes can really be effective tools because it's not a big change. People don't need to change all of their habits. They can change small bits of habits instead so things can stay organized. And like that is the goal. So you can think of micro-decluttering kind of like tiny habit changes for your home. So you cleared off your countertop and then you created a spot for all of the papers to go after that. So now you changed the different way in which you're keeping up with the organizing, which is why micro-decluttering works really well. Now, I do have a micro-declutter workbook that you can get down below where you're watching this video or listening to this podcast. So make sure to grab that micro-declutter workbook and help you micro-declutter your entire home because it gives strategies, it gives specific areas in which you can micro-declutter, and it gives kind of like a game plan or an action plan for you to micro-declutter in your home. So I will see you in the next one.